for Penn National Gaming, and it's an honor to be with you today to share with you our exciting plans for Plainridge Park Casino. Before we begin, I wanted to introduce the other members of our team who are here with us today. Starting with those who are going to be presenting, to my left is Tim Wilmot. Tim is currently the President and Chief Operating Officer for Penn National Gaming, and soon to be, with the planned spin of our company into an operating entity and a real estate investment trust, the CEO, the Chief Executive Officer of Penn National Gaming. Tim comes to us, to Penn National, arrived in 2008 with 20 years of experience in managing and developing casino operations around the world for Harrah's Entertainment, which is now Caesars. And we're fortunate to have him. To my right, actually before I do that, let me also add that Tim holds a degree in industrial engineering, which he has put to good use in the gaming industry, and has an MBA from Wharton. On my right is Jay Snowden. Jay is our Senior Vice President of Regional Operations. He oversees in that capacity 6 of 21 gaming facilities that we have, and we're hoping that he'll oversee a 7th if we're fortunate enough to be awarded the license for Plainridge. Jay is a graduate of Harvard University, the former starting quarterback, and reminded us on the flight out that his team won this weekend. Had to hear all about that. And Jay, prior to joining Penn National, spent a dozen years at Caesars Entertainment as well, where he oversaw and served in senior management roles for operations in St. Louis, San Diego, Atlantic City, and Las Vegas. And most recently for Caesars, oversaw 3 of their flagship properties in the Atlantic City marketplace. Then to Jay's right is Corey Whitaker. Corey is our Vice President of Talent Management and is responsible, as you'll hear today, for developing one of the deepest benches of management teammates in the gaming industry. And Corey, prior to joining Penn National, worked at EB Games, which is a national retailer with more than 2,000 retail outlets around the country, where she did training and development work. I also have, for moral support and also to answer whatever follow-up questions you might have, a whole team from Penn National here, starting, as you can see on the list, with Jim Baum, our Senior Vice President of Design and Construction, Carl Sotosanti, our Vice President and Deputy General Counsel, Alex Stolier, the gentleman in the blazing orange tie, who is our Vice President of Corporate Development, and Jeff Morris, our Director of Public Affairs. And also Chris Mackerlane, thank you, our Vice President of Racing. Before I begin, I also want to acknowledge and thank a cast of other people who are here with us today, including members of the harness horseman industry, who we are delighted to have entered into an agreement with covering live and simulcast racing for 2014 and hopefully beyond. We also have community leaders, members of the local business community, city officials, and representatives from the UFCW, the Machinists, and the Seafarers unions, whom we have agreements with, and all of whom, that whole group of individuals, were responsible for helping us with our successful 76% yes vote in our election in Plainville, as well as nearly a 40% turnout, which for that community is the largest turnout of any election, any special election in that town's history. It's a reflection of their great work, but also a reflection of the strength of our host community agreement, which, if you look at it on a per capita basis, provides more benefits, more dollars for the citizens of Plainville than any of the other Cat 2 host agreements. Now, I want to turn it over to Tim, but before I do, we have a brief video on the background and history of Penn National Gaming.
Setting our sights and surpassing all expectations. Through disciplined growth and valued partnerships, while proudly supporting the communities we call home. Across the nation, Penn National Gaming's principles of vision, integrity, and responsibility provide the foundation for its premier gaming entertainment facilities and good corporate citizenship. From what began as a single Pennsylvania racetrack, Penn National Gaming has grown into one of the largest, most broadly diversified gaming and pari-mutuel wagering companies in the nation, with one of the strongest balance sheets in the gaming industry today. Operating in numerous jurisdictions, Penn National offers a distinct brand of gaming entertainment, ranging from resort casinos to riverboat gaming to thoroughbred, harness, and greyhound racing. Visionary thinking and experienced management continue to propel Penn National Gaming forward. Recognized for its standard of excellence, Penn National Gaming was named to Fortune magazine's list of 100 fastest growing companies for a record 6 out of 7 years. Similarly, Forbes magazine awarded the distinction of Best Managed Gaming Company. Wall Street analysts have echoed these sentiments, describing Penn National Gaming as the top pick in regional gaming and has the most coveted balance sheet in gaming. This excellence is the result of a dedicated team of professionals carefully selecting new avenues of growth for the company and creating new economic engines for its communities. Local decentralized management allows facilities to make important decisions based on their local market-specific needs. This successful model allows our properties to truly roll up their sleeves and become a strong contributing member of the local business community.
Penn National Gaming's been a phenomenal community partner here in Kansas City, Kansas, and Wyandotte County, really from the get-go. From the inception of thinking about the design and how this can complement all the great things that are going on in Kansas City, Kansas, the reality has become Hollywood Casino. It's just an iconic part of our tourism district, and Penn National Gaming has sat as partners with us from the very beginning of the process all the way through to today.
It's already employed over 2,000 construction, but the bigger news is that we have 2,000 good-paying jobs coming to this side that absolutely needs it. And Penn's commitment's real. They're looking to hire right around the area.
Penn National Hollywood Casino right here on our waterfront actually helps be an anchor to some of the other things that we're going to create. And it has been great from the standpoint of the development on the riverfront and having people now want to get involved with doing things on the riverfront.
Penn National Gaming has been lauded for its achievements, recognized as the Corporate Partner of the Year from the National Black Chamber of Commerce, and awarded the Central Ohio United Way's Community Partner of the Year Award, Pennsylvania Governor's Award for Environmental Excellence, and was named the Columbus NAACP Corporate Champion of Diversity, among many others.
There is corporate integrity, and that means so much. This is an organization that has met their commitment to the community, what they said they would do. They not only have done that, but they have exceeded that. And that matters so much when you look out across this city.
The quality of Penn National Gaming is personified in its signature brand that is synonymous with excellence and style, Hollywood Casino. The casino decor embodies the glamour and sophistication that is the Hollywood of yesterday, today, and tomorrow. A flawless blend of modern amenities with a classic Art Deco and timeless design. Another blockbuster attraction at Hollywood Casinos, the food. From our first-class restaurants to our epic buffet, generous menus will satisfy even the most discerning of tastes. From first sight to lasting impression, our commitment is to make Hollywood casinos exciting destinations.
The Hollywood brand is all about excitement, beginning with the energy our customers feel approaching our grand entrance, to the powerful visual impact of walking through our front doors, to experience an explosion of color and moving images that are, at first sight, dazzling.
Our commitment to excellence extends to the entire team at Penn National Gaming. With over 15,000 employees company-wide, Penn National is proud to offer a full benefits package, competitive wages, comprehensive training programs, and career advancement opportunities. The company's collective work ethic has led it to be recognized as the best place to work in a number of its communities, including Bangor, Maine, and Kansas City, Missouri. That same brand of excellence also applies to our ongoing commitment to being strong corporate citizens. Further supporting its communities, Penn National Gaming upholds a policy of responsible gaming throughout its facilities, addressing identification and treatment of problem issues. With its neighbors in mind, Penn National Gaming and its charitable foundation partner with numerous charities, nonprofit, and civic organizations annually give millions in donations to aid our communities. Throughout the country, Penn National Gaming is making a difference, providing aid and resources where they are needed most.
But I think what's most important with Penn National Gaming is that they're really more of a partner than just another donor to us.
I can tell you that no other gaming company extracts more value or more excitement from an invested dollar than we do at Penn National Gaming. With one of the strongest balance sheets in the gaming industry and an insatiable but disciplined appetite for growth, we're always looking for new opportunities to bring our unparalleled commitment to quality and customer satisfaction to new communities across the country and around the world. In each of these new markets, we are proud to serve as an economic engine, generating thousands of new good-paying jobs and significant new economic development. We are also proud to partner with local businesses to support numerous worthwhile charities and civic organizations in each of the communities our employees call home.
Good afternoon. Again, I'm Tim Wilmot, the President and Chief Operating Officer today at Penn National Gaming. And thank you for the opportunity to present our proposal here for Plainridge Park Casino. I think you saw in our video a number of things about our company, but I'd like to just expand a bit about Penn National, where we are and where we've been and where we're going. We happen to be the largest regional gaming operator in the United States. We also happen to be the largest pari-mutuel operator of racetracks in North America. We have over 20 properties at our casinos, and we have 7 or 8 others that are standalone racetrack operations. We have the distinction of being the only casino company that opened up 3 new properties last year from the ground up. In February of 2012, we opened up Hollywood Casino in Kansas City, Kansas, and then in May in Hollywood Casino in Toledo, Ohio, and in October, Hollywood Casino in Columbus, Ohio. In fact, we've opened 6 brand new properties in the last 5 years, and we're not just developers, we're owners, we're operators, and we manage all of our businesses for the long term. In fact, we have 2 projects under development that we broke ground in May of this year that happen to be very, very similar to the proposal we have here in Massachusetts. We broke ground on a racetrack and slot operation in Dayton, Ohio, and also a racetrack and slot operation outside of Youngstown, Ohio. Those broke ground in May of 13 and will open up in the fall of 2014. Both those developments are approximately $250 million of capital per location. As you saw in the video, and it's somewhat dated, it said we had 15,000 employees. That's the problem with company videos, they age quickly. We're now close to 20,000 employees with the openings that I just talked about in 2012. We have a very deep management bench. You'll hear from Corey Whitaker later of our ability to take our team members, promote from within, at the top of the organizational structure in these new properties, put experienced management in place, and then hire and train over 90% of our staff locally through our various training programs. We also have a very extensive national database to draw from. Jay Snowden will cover that in a little bit more detail as we continue to roll out our Marquee Rewards program across the United States and continue to open up these new facilities. We have a very well-developed understanding of how to market to casino customers, how to develop their loyalty, and make sure that they understand the value of the programs that we offer and the transferability of those programs across our enterprise. I did want to mention in our video that we did highlight very strongly the Hollywood brand. And in fact, 2/3 of our properties have the Hollywood brand. And so as we got involved in Plainville, we did some extensive research with known casino customers in Massachusetts and Rhode Island, and we asked them questions about the Plainridge brand versus the Hollywood brand. And to our surprise, the vast majority of customers preferred the Plainridge brand. They value the brand, they value the location, they know the location. There was a very high favorable predisposition to the Plainridge Park Casino. So we're making the decision here not to go forward with our core brand, but to keep the brand local and keep it with the knowledge that it's built up since its opening in 1999. But I can assure you the level of design detail and quality of our facilities, and Jay's going to go into more detail, will be just as high as anything we've opened in the last 5 years, with the quality of our design team, our interior designers and our architects that work on all the Hollywood properties will also work on this one as well. On our next slide is a rendering of our $225 million facility, fully integrating racing operations and slot operations, which we have a lot of experience doing. I also want to highlight that our application is fully funded and guaranteed by our parent. There is no financing contingency attached to this $225 million proposal. We're fortunate enough to inherit a project that has already undergone some development. There is a parking structure that has 1,080 spaces that is near completion. The 5/8 mile harness racetrack is done. It's in operation, as you know. So we feel we have inherited a property that is well advanced, that can get us to opening faster than the other applicants. We've also designed this facility to be certified LEED Gold. You can hopefully see on top of our structure there are solar panels, which is just one element of a very aggressive green energy plan that's part of this operation. Given its location down off the interstate of 495 and Route 1, we believe before the rest of Massachusetts is built out, our year one revenues to be $250 million, our year two revenues $270 million, and then after the build out of the other three casinos in Massachusetts, we stabilize at approximately $150 million of annual gaming revenues. Before Jay gets into greater detail of our project, I wanted to just highlight why we believe Penn National at Plainridge Park is the best applicant for consideration by you as a commission. First, we're the most experienced developers and operators of these type of facilities. We have tremendous knowledge of racing operations, integrating with slot operations, integrating in some cases with full-blown casinos. Our location, we believe, is also a tremendous advantage because at that intersection of 495 and Route 1, we know through our traffic studies there's 100,000 vehicles a day that pass through that interchange. We know there's a lot of customers today going down to Rhode Island and also to Connecticut that we will cut off with our facility once it's opened. And we clearly have an understanding of what the market is down there in terms of level of competition. We know that there is competition in Rhode Island, there is competition in Connecticut, but we believe our location will be able to take advantage of what's known, and also the fact that we don't believe there's going to be much new competition in that area beyond what happens with the Massachusetts build-out. And then finally, at the core of our company, founded in 1974 as a single racetrack in central Pennsylvania, having gone public in 1994 as a racetrack company, horse racing is in our DNA. This is what we're about. We realize that the racing industry needs the attachment to slot operations or in some cases full casino operations to stay afloat, because the economic model in racing is not strong without the subsidies coming from casino operations. Our application gives us the opportunity to preserve harness racing at Plainridge Park. It gives us the opportunity to preserve thousands of acres of open space and thousands of agricultural jobs tied to the harness racing industry here in the state of Massachusetts. I do want to highlight before I conclude, we have a recent experience opening up in Bangor, Maine with the racetrack operation. Since we've opened that casino approximately 5-6 years ago, racing days have doubled, purses have tripled. But unfortunately, the purse supplements that are generated by the revenues of slot operations go to the horse owners. They don't go to the track operators. That's why it's very important, we believe, to connect the track operator here at Plain Ridge with this slot license to ensure the continuity of operation at that facility. With that, I want to thank you, and I'll turn it now over to Jason Oden.
Thank you, Tim. Good afternoon, Chairman, members of the Commission, staff. Thanks again for having us today and allowing us the opportunity to share more detail on our project. You heard from Tim a high-level overview of the company, a lot about who we are, and a little bit about the project. I'm now going to go into more of the specific programming and details with regard to the project itself and how we plan to market this facility as well. Starting with our location, we really do view it as the optimal location, and it's really primarily for two reasons. You see the black rectangle there, right at the cross-section of 495 and 95, close proximity to 295 and along Route 1. Great accessibility to our facility from any of those major Massachusetts arteries. And we are literally 2 miles from the state line of Rhode Island, and 12 miles from Pawtucket, 18 miles from Providence, Rhode Island. And there is a great deal of business that's leaving the state every day, as you guys know. One of the goals of the enabling gaming legislation was to repatriate those gaming visits and those gaming dollars back to the Commonwealth. We view our location really as a last line of defense, as customers, even with the other 3 casino integrated facilities, that once they're open, there's still going to be a great deal of residents in Massachusetts who are still potentially closer to Twin River than they would be one of those other facilities. And in this case, that would not be true, given our proximity, again, to 495, 95, and the way out of the Massachusetts Commonwealth into the state of Rhode Island. Next slide is our site plan. Again, as Tim mentioned, what exists today is the 5/8 mile harness track on the right-hand side, what is labeled the clubhouse, which is the racing and simulcast facility, as well as the 1,080 structured parking garage on the bottom there. We are proposing building the casino, which essentially would create an integrated, seamless experience for all guests, whether you're a racing enthusiast, you're there to game, or simply visit one of the food and beverage offerings, whether you park valet or in the parking garage. It really is seamless because it's all connected and it's all integrated into one experience. The driveway connecting us, our facility, if you follow the laser here, the driveway, this is Route 1 to orient everyone, Route 1 northbound and southbound here. Today, it's difficult to access the facility from Route 1 depending on which direction you're coming from if you've been to the site. So talk a little bit about the traffic improvement plans. We're committed to $4 million, over $4 million in roadway improvements. They're primarily focused on the 2 red circles, which are the intersections on the right-hand side of US 495 southbound here, exiting off of 495 southbound onto Route 1 south. We are proposing to construct a traffic light there, a traffic signal, and to also improve the configuration so that we can better allow for traffic queuing at that off-ramp onto Route 1. Today, if you were to exit onto Route 1, you would not be able to take a direct left into the driveway facility because there is a hard island, a Jersey barricade, that stretches all the way across here. So we're proposing removing a portion of that barricade and installing a traffic signal at the intersection of Route 1 and what will be Plain Ridge Park Drive. That would allow for road widening if you're headed south from 495, dedicated turn lanes into the facility. Same if you're headed northbound on Route 1, road widening and dedicated turn lanes. And then when you're exiting the facility today, you are forced to go onto Route 1 northbound. After these traffic improvement plans are implemented, you'd be able to take a left and head southbound as well. Today it's very difficult. You have to essentially pass by the facility, go onto a jug handle, and turn back around if you're coming from the north. And if you're exiting headed south, you have to exit north first, go on to 495 and turn around. So this certainly does resolve those issues. This next slide is the approach that gives you a good feel for the sense of arrival to our facility. Some of the landscaping, the water features out front. You've got the the dedicated parking garage on the right-hand side connected to the casino. and the porte cochere valet drop-off area. And on the left-hand side, you see the racing facility, which exists today, but will be upgraded as well as part of this investment. The project details, Tim mentioned, $225 million investment, over 100,000 square foot venue, with 1,250 slot machines, the maximum allowable. We anticipate over 1,000 construction jobs as part of this project and 500 permanent jobs on a go-forward basis. We plan to offer 3 food offerings, a food court, a sports bar, which I'll get into momentarily, and an upscale casual dining restaurant. We really believe, given the demographics, this hits all of the price points, the appropriate price points. The food court would be in the $5 to $10 range, the sports bar $10 to $15 price point, and the upscale casual $15 to $20. Multi-purpose and banquet room of 5,000 square feet, which is today a shelled space in the racing facility, but would be a great venue for weddings, banquets, anniversaries, reunions, things of that nature, overlooking the racetrack. Entertainment lounge I'll speak to momentarily, and between the surface parking and the flat parking, we have, surface parking, over 1,600 dedicated spaces, and I mentioned the track earlier. This slide, as my colleagues love to refer to as the circuit board, really gives you a feel for the overall casino floor layout. You can see the slot machines, and the legend on the right-hand side is color-coded. Food and beverage is in the orange-yellow to orient everyone. The main entrance, porte cochere, valet drop-off here. The existing racing facility here. One of our restaurants would be within that racing facility. This is live racing, first floor and second floor, as well as simulcast. The sports bar in the middle, pardon the pun, the 50-yard line, and certainly the feature attraction from a non-gaming perspective, and the 4-venue food court just below that, the casino lounge that I referenced earlier, and this would be where all of the parking garage guests, the majority of your customers would be coming and going from this direction here. Tim spoke a little bit about racing and preserving the heritage of racing in Massachusetts. This is what we do. Our company was founded on racing. We operate and own 11 tracks today. 4 of those are harness racing tracks, so we have experience not just within thoroughbred racing, but we also have experience on the harness side of the business, even as close as Bangor, Maine as a harness facility. We anticipate and envision hosting special events for the Triple Crown, obviously, as well as the Hambletonian, which is very important here in Massachusetts, and to leverage our portfolio of tracks to cross-promote, cross-market, and certainly our database of racing customers to educate them that we now have an offering in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Doug Flutie's Sports Pub, the one, the only. This is unique to our project. This will be Doug's first and only restaurant project in his career. Doug Flutie has been a fantastic partner. We've been working with him on this concept for several months now. We see this as the must-see, the must-visit attraction as far as sports bars go in Southeast Massachusetts. We're very close to Gillette Stadium, where he used to play as a New England Patriot. As you know, Doug Flutie won the Heisman. He's promised us to showcase his Heisman Trophy at our facility in this venue for good portions of the year, and to make personal appearances and bring some of his former athlete and current athlete friends along with him. Very excited about offering the Doug Flutie Sports Pub. From an entertainment perspective, this is where our project really starts to differentiate itself from others, and the fact that we view our project as outward facing. The first thing we did when we considered entertainment is we went and met with the Comcast Center, Live Nation folks, and said, explain to us what it is that you do. What would you view as competitive versus what would you view as complementary? And so after having conversations with them and some of the other venues, we decided there would be a 2-prong approach for entertainment for our facility. One is to offer live entertainment on the casino floor. And this is really meant to be local acts, cover bands, less than 100 seats, but it provides energy and excitement on the casino floor throughout the evening and certainly over the course of the weekends into the wee hours of the night. So that's the first prong approach. Doug Flutie has his own local band where he's the drummer. I'm sure we'll be able to convince him to play in there on occasion as well. And then secondarily, Tim had mentioned, we have 90 acres of land, and so we have the ability to put on outdoor festivals, whether that's in the infield of the racetrack itself or some of the adjacent lands. We've been very successful in the past of putting up outdoor sprung or tent structures and offering simulated game shows. We just did this at our Charlestown facility. The Price is Right. We offered 5 shows over 3 nights, 2,000 people per show. All of them sold out. Let's Make a Deal, Family Feud. These are the type of things that we can do that, again, would be complementary. They're not done in the area today, as opposed to cannibalizing any of the existing entertainment business going elsewhere for the existing venues. Now, from a marketing perspective, 28 properties across 18 jurisdictions, 21 of those being gaming facilities. And we really have had a great deal of experience honing our marketing strategy in markets just like Plainville. Believe it or not, we operate in small towns like Plainville, Perryville, Maryland being an example, Grantville, Pennsylvania. So we believe that our project will be able to hit the ground running by virtue of our experience on the marketing side of things in these regional markets. One of the unique strengths of our project is our database. We have a database of over 4 million active gaming customers across the country. Over 1 million of those customers reside in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, and Canadian regions. So think about it as a 1 million person database that's seeded before we ever open the doors. Other casinos would have to open the doors and sign people up. We have 1 million before we ever open the door that we can market to and drive trial with, that are either within a short drive or a short flight to Providence, Rhode Island, Boston, Massachusetts, and can easily frequent the facility. Not to mention, we do share our VIP business across jurisdictions, and a number of our customers, particularly in Bangor, Maine, have been asking us daily at this point when we're going to open if we get a facility, because they have family, friends, or second homes in the Commonwealth and would love to come visit and be able to spend some of their gaming dollars and comps earned at this facility. Speaking of being able to do just that, one of our proprietary concepts is the Marquee Reward Program that Tim alluded to earlier. Every casino across the country offers a loyalty card program. What makes ours unique is that at the majority of our properties, it's linked. So the points that you earn as you game, if you're playing a slot machine and you earn points with your player loyalty card inserted, you are earning points that are bankable and they're portable. So if you're a customer in Bangor, Maine, and you're earning comps by playing slot machines, you can certainly redeem those comps for a hotel room in Bangor, Maine at our hotel, one of our restaurants, or you can bank those points in the future and come redeem those either at our facility in Massachusetts or in Las Vegas, Nevada. Certainly the ability to redeem those points, and I'll get into our partnerships that we have envisioned a little bit further, but be able to redeem those points to go see a Patriot game even though you earn them in Bangor, Maine is pretty powerful. Similarly, we believe that we'll be able to drive consolidation of play, not just in the Commonwealth, but when you're talking about bringing business over from Rhode Island, across state lines into Massachusetts, even though Twin River is right across the state line, Twin River can't offer what we can. Twin River can offer to have customers earn comps, bank those comps, and port them to Las Vegas, Nevada to stay at our M Resort, a $1 billion facility on the south end of Las Vegas Boulevard, to pay for their hotel rooms and pay for their food and beverage spa experience in Las Vegas, Nevada. That is unique to our project. From an advertising perspective, again, as Tim mentioned, we've opened 6 properties over the course of the last 5 years, dating back to February 2008, Penn National Racecourse in Grantville, Pennsylvania, Bangor, Maine, Perryville, Maryland, the Kansas Speedway Project, Toledo, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. We have a formula that we feel strong about because it works. We've learned a lot through those 6 openings in the last 5 years. What does work? We've made plenty of mistakes about what doesn't work. When do you start advertising? What are the appropriate channels? How far out from your facility should you go? What channels of marketing? Is it radio? Is it TV? Is it outdoor billboard? And level of partnership that adds the most value to drive visitation to this facility. I showed you this map earlier, and the benefit that I was hitting on was the proximity to Rhode Island and the easy access from off of 95 and 495. The other benefit of our location here is that we find ourselves in the center of the action as we put it on this slide. We are less than a 10-minute drive from the Rentham Village Premium Outlets, Gillette Stadium and Patriot Place, Comcast Center, operated by Live Nation, and TPC Boston. And we want our project to be outward facing. So We have begun discussions. I'll get into the number of MOUs we have in a couple of slides. But when we first considered this project, we were debating internally on whether or not to build a hotel as part of the first phase. We did our research, we met with hotel operators in the area, and they could use our help. Another hotel would really hurt their business, certainly from a cannibalization perspective. So we elected to not go with the hotel in the first phase and to drive occupancy for the neighboring hotels in the area who are sitting at 50 and 60% occupancy ranges today. We call that a virtual hotel program, so our VIP customers, based on their play, will be able to stay in local hotels on our dime because we want to make sure that we're partnering with those local hotels to drive occupancy. Stay, play, and shop packages I'll get into in a little bit. We envision certainly with the folks at Gillette Stadium, we've had some productive conversations, potentially sponsorship opportunities, block tickets for games, for concerts that are put on there, easy in, easy out, back to our facility. So it really does make a great deal of sense for us to be partnering as opposed to competing with all of these regional destinations. Charitable golf events at TPC Boston, and gift card programs as well. Some examples of just that, our property in Kansas City, Kansas, which we opened about a year and a half ago. We partnered with the local Cabela's as well as Nebraska Furniture Mart for comp redemption. So what I mentioned earlier of earning points and earning comps, you can certainly utilize those and redeem those within our facility if you want to grab a bite to eat at Doug Flutie's Sports Bar, or if you want to save those and be able to redeem comps to buy gift cards come the holiday season, you can do that as well. So it's our way of being a part of the fabric of the local community and supporting local businesses by driving business their way, even though those points and comps are earned on at our facility. Other examples in the Aurora, Illinois market, gift card giveaways for local retailers. You've got examples here as well. We currently have 12 MOUs already signed, memorandums of understanding, with regards to how we would cooperate with our surrounding community, local businesses, some of them as large as Rentham Village Premium Outlets, and some of them as small as the Chieftain Pub. So we're out there shaking hands, making sure that the local community understands what our project is and ultimately what it isn't. And we don't want to be viewed as a competitor, which is why we plan to have not just the 12 that are signed today, but to double that number over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're in ongoing discussions with dozens of local area attractions. The Massachusetts State Lottery, it's crystal clear if you do any research just how important this is to the Commonwealth. It's the #1 most successful lottery in the country on a per capita basis. We have had some very productive dialogue with Kathy, Bill, and Owen at the Massachusetts State Lottery, and last week we did fully execute an agreement with the lottery with regards to rules of engagement, cross-marketing, cross-promotion, cross-advertising opportunities, the ability for us to potentially be home of any new product launches for the lottery. And we were comfortable enough as well, understanding how important Keno specifically is to the Massachusetts State Lottery, providing for the Massachusetts State Lottery to be the exclusive offering of Keno within our facility, within our four walls. So there will be no competition with their Keno product, and we don't envision any competition with any of their other products. We picked several locations throughout the facility for the standalone lottery kiosks, as well as potentially be able to redeem tickets beyond $600 as a retailer, which there are not many of those outlets, but given our hours of operation, it would be ideal for the lottery to have us do that. So we have an executed agreement. We're sure you will talk to the lottery folks. I think both sides are very happy with the way that agreement turned out. The nice thing for us as well with regards to the lottery is that we've got a great deal of experience working with state lotteries. In 3 of the jurisdictions where we operate, Kansas, Maryland, and West Virginia, and soon with the 2 developments will be our 4th that Tim mentioned in Ohio, the lottery actually serves as our regulatory body. And so we've been working very closely with state lotteries for a number of years. And we are actually in the state of West Virginia, the #7 retailer agent for selling lottery products, throughout the entire state. And we are the #1 producer in the greater Harrisburg, Hershey area region of Pennsylvania. So we have had some great experience, vast experience, and we don't view that product as competitive. We really view it as complementary versus the slot machine products that we offer across the casino floor. Lastly, from a marketing perspective, from a travel and tourism, we partner with the local Convention and Visitor Bureau, both at the local level and the state level in all of the markets where we operate. We've had some very good discussions early on. We were already members of the local CVB in the the Plainville region. And we have some ideas on how we can partner with the Massachusetts Office of Tourism and Travel for stay, play, and shop packages that are not just centered around what we offer, but around the surrounding community and the surrounding destinations as well, as I alluded to earlier. We think that we are right in the middle of where customers would want to spend a weekend getaway, spend Friday and Saturday night at our facility, go see a concert, a Patriot game on Sunday. We can put together some very appealing packages for both in-state and out-of-state residents. With that, I'm going to turn it over to Corey Whitaker.
Thanks, Jay, very much. And thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, and that's jobs and job creation. Like Tim and Jay both mentioned, Penn's opened 6 new facilities in the past 5 years, and adding thousands and thousands of jobs in those communities has been very rewarding. But I have to tell you, our opportunity here in Massachusetts is even more exciting and more special. Not only are we going to be adding jobs, and some really good jobs, but we're going to be preserving jobs. We're going to be preserving the jobs of 124 current employees of Plainridge Racecourse. We're going to be preserving hundreds and hundreds of racing-related jobs, such as drivers and farmers and trainers, all of whom are dependent upon racing operations continuing in the Commonwealth. That makes this opportunity at Plainridge even more exciting and more meaningful for us at Penn. Ultimately, Plainridge Park Casino will employ over 500 team members, the majority of which will be full-time with benefits. Our goal is to hire a minimum of 90% of those team members from Plainville and the surrounding communities. Our projected average salary is $40,000 inclusive of benefits. And speaking of benefits, we have a very robust benefit program, which includes medical, dental, vision, life, prescription, disability. And we also offer tuition assistance for our employees because, as I'll talk to in a little bit, we'll have some real strong partners with community colleges, but we also believe in investing in our employees and helping them grow and develop their careers. And last but not least, we have a 401k with matching funds. And I always like to mention, a few years back when times got tough in our industry, we saw our competitors cut this benefit for their employees, but not Penn. Penn kept this benefit intact, and I really believe it speaks to who we are as a company. As I mentioned earlier, we have a very robust hiring goal, and this has been a very successful theme for us throughout our openings, our past 6 openings in particular. We're able to accomplish this through the partnerships that we've developed and we create locally. We've entered into an agreement with the Massachusetts Casino Careers Institute and are looking very much forward to working with them. We're also looking forward to working with them on our robust diversity plan, which has also been a very successful component for us in our recent openings. Massasoit and Bristol Community Colleges are also partners with the Institute, and we've had some great conversations with those colleges, and they're excited and we're excited to be partnering together to help hire and develop our workforce. We've also met with the Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development, as well as the Bristol and Norfolk County Career Centers, and believe they'll be great partners for us to assist us with recruiting a wide variety of populations, including the veterans, the unemployed, and the underemployed populations. Now, as I mentioned, it's all about hiring local. It's all about being part of the community, and the only way for us to do that is through our successful community partnerships that we have and that we've started to develop. Along with hiring local, we also rely on local vendors and suppliers, and this is very important to us. We look to these new projects not only to provide good jobs, which they do, but also to stimulate the local economy by buying local. We've got a strong commitment and a strong record of success with our LBE, MBE, WBE, and DBE purchasing, and we've exceeded our goals with our past 6 openings. We've got a strong union history with our construction projects, and over the last 4 construction projects we've had, they've been wall-to-wall union. We've got great working relationships, and we've had no work stoppages. Before we even put a shovel in the ground, though, it's all about working again with the community. We've done vendor fairs, and those are designed for local businesses to showcase how they can provide services and goods to the casino. And we're currently signed up to do one next week, so we're very excited, again, taking advantage of buying locally. Another really cool program we have is our mentoring programs, and those have been very successful for us in the past, and we'll look to do the same here with our project. An example of one I'd like to share with you is from our Toledo project, and we've had the privilege of working with a woman named Sarah Bates, and Sarah thought she was just another victim of the automobile industry's collapse. Her company was New Tech Steel out of Toledo. It relied heavily on the auto industry for a majority of their contracts. When the economy went south, Sarah took a chance and reached out to Penn National Gaming. Penn, along with our general contractor, worked with Sarah from the very beginning to help transform her automobile expertise into the ability to develop the steel beams needed to build our new casino. So a pretty nice transformation of one business to another that we helped mentor and partnership with. The new line of business gave Sarah the opportunity to transform her business and turn her balance sheet from red to black, and in the process became one of Penn National Gaming's most successful and most effective subcontractors. So a really cool story of how that mentorship program actually works. I have to tell you, I'm very proud to work for Penn National Gaming for a number of different reasons. But the main reason is because of the type of company we are. What I've talked about today isn't lip service. We deliver on our promises at each of our 28 facilities. And with that, I'd like to turn it over to a quick video that really demonstrates that.
Initially, I was undecided about the casino when I first came to Bangor, when they first started talking about it. And looking back, it's an easy one. It'd be 100% yes.
I was skeptical in terms of how much gaming would be able to do overall for our economic development in the state. What I've learned since coming to this community is that it really has been a rising tide that's lifted all our boats.
It's the whole economic development that's taken place in Bangor that really started with Penn National bringing Hollywood slots to the area.
The gaming industry has many jobs and career paths for people to take.
Yeah, you might start off doing some housekeeping, or you might start off in the buffet line, or you might start off, being an assistant or just an intern. But you move throughout the system, and Hollywood has been excellent at giving opportunities to my students to work in multiple departments, so that upon graduation, they don't get an entry-level job. They are being offered at least middle management job.
After graduating college, I never expected to work in a casino. I've been quite surprised with all the different opportunities.
And it's not just the hospitality students that work here, by the way. We have marketing students and CIS students that work in the tech side. We also have security. We have our criminal justice students that work there.
In addition to that, they have tuition reimbursement for both undergraduate and master's programs.
They're doing everything they can for their employees, and you see it and hear it in the community all the time.
Penn National has been a fully engaged member of our business community here. If there's something good going on in this community, their name is on it.
As employees at Penn National Gaming, especially here at Hollywood Casino Bangor, we're encouraged to go out and be active in the community in various ways.
John Osborne is the manager of the Hollywood slots here, and he is terrific. I mean, he's a real community-minded person.
Their people are involved on our community boards. They sponsor our community events, whether it's through the chamber or other organizations.
Champion for the Cure and the American Folk Festival are two different boards that I have participated on over the last few years.
And they've done more than their share with the charitable organizations in our community.
The benefit to the community, to the waterfront, to our tax base, while keeping our residential tax rate low, job opportunities, all A pluses.
I have the honor of closing out our presentation, and our goal was to try to present in an hour because we understand the importance of brevity that this commission has placed on presentations in the past, and so we wanted to make sure we hit 60 minutes, and we're going to do that. I wanted to, though, make sure, and hopefully you'll agree, that we have covered a tremendous amount of ground in a relatively brief amount of time since coming before this commission to receive approval to appear on the ballot in Plainville. And we're grateful and have been working tirelessly to try to check every box. And so this was a taste of what we've been able to accomplish in that time. It's the tip of the iceberg, and we hope to continue to have opportunities in the coming weeks and months to make even more relationships, friendships, partnerships with the businesses in our community and our region at large. I'm going to wrap up with another brief video that's going to, I think, highlight the centerpiece of what our argument is, which is the revitalization of harness racing in Massachusetts. But before I do, and by the way, I should add that this is the birthplace of harness racing in the country. And so it is an important, critical element of our proposal and what we're seeking to accomplish here. But before I do, in the brief time that I have, I want to provide you an update on our discussions with our surrounding communities, because there have been some articles in the press about that, and I wanted to give you the very latest information about what is occurring there. So even before Penn National entered the scene, Plain Ridge and representatives from the racetrack had been reaching out to start talking to their communities and surrounding communities and start talking about what had previously been proposed by the previous group. And when Penn National came to the scene, there was a handoff, so to speak, where we went ourselves to meet with representatives from the communities of Mansfield and Rentham and Foxborough and North Attleboro, those 4 communities. And so even before there was an official designation, there was dialogue that we had engaged in. And then on October 2nd, we sent an official letter to each of those 4 communities, designating them as our surrounding communities. In those meetings I talked about, we provided background on who Penn National is, a background on our proposal, the studies that we had conducted, the projections that we had put together, and we provided a template of a surrounding community agreement that covered things like job fairs, like cross-marketing and promotions, things that Jay covered in his portion of the presentation, as well as our commitment to buy locally and hire locally. And our goal has been and will be to hire 90% of these jobs in our local area, which includes Plainville and those 4 surrounding communities. We then made sure that we not only committed to mitigating the direct net impacts of our facility in those surrounding communities, but acknowledged the fact that what we had provided were projections. Only that, projections. And so different economists can disagree in terms of different impacts. And so what we did was make a commitment that we will come back in a year from opening, and we will look at the real world direct net impact that our casino might have on these communities, which we think will be minimal, but indeed we're going to co-commission a study with an economist that the surrounding communities and Penn will agree upon mutually, and look at those direct net impacts, and importantly, agree to pay for the cost of mitigation of those impacts. Those conversations with those surrounding communities I would characterize as ongoing, and we are appreciative of the extra time that this commission has given to get to final agreements, and we are hopeful that we'll be able to present signed agreements with these communities by that timeline. With that, I want to play our final video and then hopefully have a couple of minutes if you do have any questions or seek any clarification. Thank you.
The Commonwealth of Massachusetts is the birthplace of harness racing, which can be traced back to the time of the Pilgrims. The Morgan horse, which is the state horse of Massachusetts, was first bred in Springfield and is one of the earliest horse breeds developed in the United States. Named after its owner, Justin Morgan, the breed served many roles in early American history, being used as coach horses, which gave way to the exciting sport of harness racing.
I'm the third generation. The family started in 1959 and still going to this day. Well, in 1959, there wasn't that many good horses, but it was really great.
Back years ago, you could make a real good living in this business. A lot of people went to the racetrack.
Been more downs than there has been ups. You know, like the cost of feeding one goes up. When you're shipping around, it's expensive. Everything's been going up except the purses.
It's sad, but my grandfather raced for more money back in the late 50s, early 60s, than we are at current places right now in this day.
Year by year, the purses get lower and lower, and with Penn National coming, it gives us hope.
Penn National Gaming's proposed plan will breathe new life into the last venue for live harness racing in Massachusetts. The project will preserve this important part of the Commonwealth's heritage and save hundreds of family farms and thousands of acres of open space across eastern and western Massachusetts, all of which contribute to the charm of the state.
Well, the potential idea of slots coming to Plainridge means a great deal for me.
It's time to go ahead with the slots because all the other tracks that have them have progressed, and the industry is a lot stronger in other states.
The larger purses financed by the expanded venue will attract higher caliber racing, which will in turn produce a more exciting racing product, higher pari-mutuel wagering amounts, more tax revenues, and increasing demand for the small businesses and thousands of direct and indirect employees related to harness racing.
The economy, based with harness racing alone, there's so much that entails. You've got your feed suppliers, you've got your truck dealers, you've got trailer dealers, you've got all the employees that run on the facility.
I understand there's 3 applicants and there's 1 license going to be given out. If a license is given out to an applicant that doesn't have racing, I don't know how that's going to benefit us.
Penn National Gaming will provide Plainridge Racecourse the opportunity to be a leader in the sport of harness racing in New England.
Bangor, Maine, for instance, I know they were very poor shape a few years ago until Penn National stepped in there, and now they have the slots.
Penn National's expertise in integrated racing and gaming, with Plainridge Raceway's ideal location as the only harness racetrack in the state, will provide an unmatched amenity for our region and beyond.
When it became evident that this was a possibility, I witnessed firsthand my local town government, that is our town administrator as well as selectmen, investigate this very thoroughly.
We negotiated hard, and I think negotiated, certainly on a per capita basis, the best host community agreement in the Commonwealth. You've seen the front of the town hall. It's not our shining star. By the same token, we have a police and fire department that has very significant problems. We'd like to see that infusion of new money, particularly that $2.7 million, dedicated to making those improvements that now won't be borne by taxpayers.
I do a lot of business in and around Boston. I consistently see the large billboards for out-of-town, out-of-state gaming. I see busloads of folks on their way to out-of-state casinos.
If Rhode Island and Connecticut can draw from Massachusetts, there's no reason why the reverse can't happen.
Alongside with the economic return is the pride.
Although it's my livelihood, it's more than just a job to me. It's my passion. It's where my heart is. I got out of it for a few years, and look where I am. I'm right back in it again. Full heart, everything right into it.
I tried to get out a couple times and, you know, get a regular 9-to-5 job, but just couldn't do it.
The most famous one is a horse by the name of Royalty for Life, which was born and raised here, and went on to win the biggest race in our sport, which is called the Hamiltonian this year.
It's hard to believe you have just won the biggest race in the sport on its biggest stage. What does this mean to you?
Words can't describe it. I never ever thought I'd be at this spot, being a little guy from Massachusetts, training a bunch of homebreds, and to turn out to be like this is just amazing.
Well, congratulations.
This was a positive story that would not have happened without Massachusetts racing. It would not have happened.
All this land here is dedicated to the horses, and we've even had to sell a couple of acres over the years just to maintain keeping it. And we never gave up hoping that it's going to come.
With that, I want to thank you for your time and your consideration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Shippers. Thank you. Anybody, questions, clarification? Thank you very much. Appreciate you coming. Thank you, Mr. Wilmot. Thank you all. We will, let's see now, it's 1:30, we're supposed to, we have an hour. Yeah. All right, we will take a break for an hour because we're not scheduled until 2:30 for our next presenter. That would be Raynham Park LLC. We can't move them forward since people have been planning on those times. So we will be back in an hour.